school. What a time. Seriously, what a time. It's just kind of crazy because I'm doing this self-reflection on the camera when usually I'd be doing this in my journal. But I wanted to self-reflect about high school. We are finally growing up and we're starting to transition from being little tiny kids that were always asking our parents for permission about everything and the world was so big. And then all of a sudden you get to an age where, oh shit, university and college, shit, oh I need to study. And then your energy diverts into something completely different. It went from being like free to like school, which is fine, okay, whatever. And then from there, there's so many other things that transpire because you're seeing other people the same age as you and you guys are all going to the same school and you guys are learning about life at the same time, but kind of different because you guys have different homes, but majority of the day you're like together for like 8 to 9 hours and these are like the same people every single day in your classroom. That's a lot. They kind of become your second family. It's really important that you have a good experience in this kind of situation because you're essentially being taken out of your home and then you're put into another place that you spend the same amount of time in. So technically school is kind of your second home. It's kind of a battleground out here. Suddenly there's things like cliques, there's things like, oh, I'm hitting puberty, am I hot or am I not? There's so many weird things that go on and then it comes to like, okay, I need to like learn how to talk to people and maybe you're a social butterfly already, so it's very easy for you to talk to people. Or maybe you're extremely shy and you prefer just not talking to anyone, but you're a very nice person because that's usually what the case is. Anyways, there's so many crazy things that happen in high school and I just wanted to self-reflect on my journey in high school because I haven't looked back at high school for 6 years. I am now 24 and I haven't looked back and I haven't reflected at all about high school and I don't know why. Like it's something that was kind of a big part of my life. And then I realized it's because something in high school happened that sucked ass and I don't want to remember it. I wouldn't call it trauma. I just think it's something my brain's like, you know what? You're done with this. You got to move on because clearly this is not your safe spot anymore. So for me personally in high school, I was an extrovert. I was always like talking to everyone. I'm really good at sports. So I was in sports too. And I also was part of a bunch of clubs all the time. I was kind of someone who always wanted to try everything out. That was my personality. And I was also kind of weird. I do not mean that in a quirky way, I promise you. That's not what I'm saying. I was genuinely a bit weird. Like I would be really hyper all the time. And I would just be like jumping on my friends. I would randomly wrestle them in the middle of the high school, like the hallways. And then we all were so fucking close and it was just great, right? So that's how it started out for me. Just being really hyper and weird and a bunch of my friends were exactly the same way. We all were just so in each other's little like bubble. Like we had our friend group and that was my friend group because I just clicked with all of them, right? And I understand that that part of my high school journey was fantastic, which was grade 9, 10. And it's half of my experience. So I mean, that was shaped pretty fucking well. Then something happened in grade 11. Grade 11 is very interesting for a lot of us because something happens when we hit puberty and I don't know if it's because we're taught this. I genuinely think it's because society has taught us to think this way because of like movies and shows. The second you grow up and the second you start to understand and you're taught that like this world is kind of rough, like you kind of have to watch out for yourself because the adulthood is a bit different in the terms of competitiveness and things that don't make sense when you're younger because when you're younger everyone's the same, everyone's equal. So anyway, so you're kind of taught about these things and then you kind of like hit puberty and that was when things went sideways for me personally. And I promise you, I'm not trying to be cocky, this is literally just my experience, but I started to notice that I had to continue being someone weird because I want to lessen my shine, if that makes sense. Because I noticed that people would act differently towards me if I was weird or something kind of not seen as competition. And this was something that happened within a lot of girls in the grade, not just me. A lot of girls had similar experiences where maybe they were doing super well in a certain area and they started noticing that maybe there's some rumors about them. Maybe someone's calling you, you're full of yourself, or like when something you start to notice, like you start to feel energy of other people's, and it's just really weird. Grade 11 was like that. I lost all my friends. I lost all of my friends, and this also happened. There's like probably a couple of things happening. I also got a boyfriend at the time, and I was extremely happy. Like, I was so happy. I don't know what happened, but literally a day or two after I got my boyfriend, all my friends stopped talking to me. There was one friend for sure who didn't stop talking to me, and like we're extremely good friends right now too, and she's kind of my soul sister. So this happened and I had no friends, and I would literally get bullied. Like it went from me being having like the best time ever in high school to me suddenly being scared of going onto my bus. Like it was and I didn't do anything. Like, anyways, I don't even want to get into like that part. Like and then all of a sudden, like I would go to school and I had no one to have lunch with. It was like the weirdest thing ever. Like none of my friends liked me anymore. And there was really no reason for it. Like I had literally no reason why no one liked me anymore. And I don't want to make it sound like I could easily just be like, oh, haha, fuck everyone. They were probably jealous. I could easily have that like energy, but I don't want to, because that doesn't help anyone. Like it doesn't help me, it doesn't help you, so it doesn't make sense. So that's why I'm trying to see this from another perspective. Anyways, so that happened in high school, okay? And then my brain did this thing where I think I just focused only on school. So I didn't really have the best grades, honestly, when I was in grade 9 and 10. Like I was just getting 70s and that's it. Like I was a very average student. Then all of a sudden, like when I got bullied, started getting bullied, my whole life flipped upside down, which is really traumatic. Then I started studying a lot, like a lot more. And so, because that's all I had, I only had my boyfriend and studying. So then I would just study. I was literally just studying and my grades went way up. Like I went from, it was grade 11 and 12. I went from like bio 20, I used to get 70s, and then all of a sudden bio 30, I was getting 100. Like it was insane how much my brain just had the energy to flip. So I did really well in like my second semester of school, and then I was able to get into my program at university. And the point is that the second half of my whole high school experience is just numb. I'm literally just numb. And the only things that I think really helped me is the fact that I had my boyfriend and my one friend who's still stuck to me. Like, despite the fact that like everyone else was like hating on me, that I still had that one friend which is insane. Anyways, and then I went into university. I just kind of went through university like doing on paper really well. So I kind of joined a bunch of business classes, accounting classes. Like that was what I chose for my major. And so I just went through school, and I was on the varsity track and field team. So I pretty much used bullying, and it propelled me to like really work on myself in terms of paper and resume. So I spent the last 4 or 5 years after high school grinding my ass off. And so I kind of am at a point now where I have my master's in accounting. I killed those 4 or 5 years, and I was only able to do that because I had gone numb from my experiences being young. But I was just able to put all my focus into those things, into something. I needed to put my focus into something, right? Oh, I completely forgot another key component to this whole thing. I also don't have the best home life. So suddenly in grade 11 and 12, not having my friends anymore that were like my sisters, combined with not having a home that I feel safe going to in general, is just not a good combo. So I was pretty much not in a good vibe. So now in my life, after all that, I am at a spot where I've kind of finished my education, and I feel internally that I'm entering another chapter. It's kind of crazy. Oh, I'm so grateful. Hold on, wait. And this third chapter of my life is healing. It's a healing chapter. Okay, wait. Okay, so this chapter is all about healing for me, and I'm now starting to reflect on things I didn't even give one thought to. I've been to therapy, so I have learned, and also I listen to a lot of people's posts and self-care books and meditation. I'm on my spiritual journey, so there's a lot of things I'm learning right now that at a very accelerated rate. And so I'm noticing that I have a lot of healing to do that I didn't really work through. And holy shit, it's really, it's a lot of healing. I'm entering that era. And then I thought for a second that my brain, a human brain, just finally opens up and it has space and there's no like deadline, there's no nothing to, because I'm not working right now either. So like there's no deadline to run to. This is literally a self-reflection period of time that I have, which I'm like so grateful for. It's insane. Everything comes around full circle, and I think it's so beautiful because you kind of get thrown around in life, and this is not the same for everyone, but in some way, shape, or form, we all have issues. So you kind of get thrown around in life, and then like you don't really know what's happening when you're young, especially. So when you get into adulthood, you finally get to like settle down and realize life is crazy. And the fact that I'm only 24 right now and I still have so much more to go. I mean, if I'm lucky enough, you actually start to feel grateful for those lessons, which is kind of crazy because I thought my high school stuff was traumatic and I could view it as being traumatic, but instead I view it like a story, like a chapter of mine. Like, damn, I went through that. Like, it's kind of crazy. And like, yeah, it made me sad. There were a lot of things that it made me sad, but you learn from them and it becomes part of you. And so now I will always look back at high school and just now, even though there are some things that make me sad about it, it's still something so beautiful and so pure in its own way. We literally went from being kids to like, who the fuck are you people that look exactly like me that are in the same time frame? Like, it's just kind of a lot. This self-reflection was fantastic. Whether you're someone who is in high school right now going through some stuff, whether you're someone who is 80 and they're just like looking at a video of a girl talking about stuff and you're just like, haha, you still have so much more to go. Whether you're exactly my age and whether you know me or you don't know me, it's amazing how far we've come. And literally we're on our journeys together. It's kind of cool. Like, I think we all have our own stories. The present moment right now is where you should be. And yeah, life literally just goes on. It's fun. It's just a game. We're part of a game. And it's a fun and joyous game, depending on how you look at it. My cousin just came back home, so you're gonna hear him saying stuff. Hugs. Thanks guys for watching this video. It was kind of a lot, but I'm really glad I had you guys to weigh in and listen to me. So I really appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys next video.